Hey everyone, kids, this is Dr. Callahan with Week 8 Friday. How are you guys doing? You guys made it to the end. Keep in mind your warm-up log is going to be due on Week 9 Friday, so you have exactly 5 more school days before you have 300 points coming your way. So I will recommend you go through your warm-up log, see any of the boxes that is still missing, and then go to the MS team and look up the days and the weeks that you're missing it, and go ahead and just watch the beginning of the video so that way you guys have it. So that's my recommendation, but you will have 300 points coming for that. All right, let's go ahead and create the assignment for today so that way you can view the assignment and I'm able to check you in. All right, so today it is for Week 8 Friday, Algebra 1, Semester 2. And our topic is going to be for graphing quadratics in standard form. Your instruction is to make sure you watch the video in its entirety. Make sure you guys check in with me by 8:40 a.m. and upload your assignments by 3 p.m. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and continue with what we do today. So this is the breakdown of what we're going to be talking about. Your guided note today looks like this. And you are going to be starting off with this page right here, okay? So you have your page 1, page 2, and page 3. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this started. All right, first thing I want you guys to do is make sure you read this. And I want you to focus on example number 1. All right, let's take a look at example number 1 then. So looking at example number 1, you have standard form and you want to go ahead and grab the parabola. So you'll look for the vertex, and the vertex formula is -b over 2a. So you just go ahead and number it. A is the 1 right there. B is the 8. C is the 13. Okay. And so x in this situation is going to be -b. So that's going to be -8 over 2 times 1. So what is your x then? Well, your x looks like it's going to be 4. So that's my first part of my answer. All right, so then you're going to put 4 here in place of x. 4 times 4 is 16. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 13. So what is your y going to be? Well, this looks like it's going to be a -13, or excuse me, -16 plus 13, which is going to be a -3. So your vertex is 4, -3. So on your graph, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, 2, 3. Is it a happy face or a sad face? Well, it looks like it's going to be a happy face like this because it's a positive x squared. Now, I don't know how wide this x squared is going to be, so I want to make sure I pick some points to draw this, okay? So let's take a look. Whoops. Let's say if I were to pick 2. If x is equal to 2, what is the y going to be? Well, the y is going to be 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 8 is negative 16 plus 13. That's a negative 12 plus 13, which is a positive 1. So at 2, it's going to be at 1. Now, looking at the symmetry of this, do you see how this dot is 1, 2 spaces away from 4? So go 1, 2 over here, which is going to be 6, and it's also going to be 1. Let's pick another point. Let's see what we're going to have if we were to go ahead and pick another point a little bit further. Maybe how about at 0? When x is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, minus 0 plus 13. So your y is 13. So at 0, you're going to go all the way up to 13. But then similarly, if I go 2 steps over here, which is going to be at 8, it's also going to be 13. So now let's connect the dot. You kind of have an idea as to where your parabola is going to be, whether it's narrow or if it's stretched out. And this is your vertex. All right, let's take a look at example 2. So for example 2, I want you to create your own example of a sad face parabola and then repeat the steps from example 1. So my sad face parabola has a negative x squared minus x plus 4. You can create yours however you want, but if it's going to be a sad face parabola, it has to have a negative in front of the x squared. All right, let's take a look at the vertex. The vertex is going to be a negative 1 over 2 times negative 1, which is a positive 1 over negative 2. So x equals negative 0.5. All right, so then for your y, it's going to be a negative 1/2 squared minus negative 1/2 plus 4. So that's a negative 1/4 plus a 1/2 plus 4. Well, I got to make sure I have a common denominator. So let's make that a 4. That'll be a 2. This is a 4. This is a 16. So then that's a positive 1 plus 16, which is a 17 over 4. If you think about it, 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. So it's probably going to be around like a 4.1 for your y. So my vertex in this case is going to be negative 0.5 and positive 4.1. I know it's unconventional because it's not a perfect whole number, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. So go ahead and graph yours and do exactly what I just did on your example. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to graph that. So this is at negative 1/2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your vertex. I know it's going to go down like this because it's going to be a sad face. But again, I don't know how narrow it is and how stretched out it is or how compressed it is. So let's take a look at perhaps at maybe at positive 2. When x is at positive 2, what is my y going to be? Well, here's my equation for y. So I'm going to have a negative 2 times 2, which is a negative 4, minus 2 plus 4, which is a negative 2. 1, 2, right there. Similar to that, I'm going to go over 1, 2 over there to negative 3. It's also going to be a negative 2. Okay, so I know it's going to go like in this direction so far. Now let's find another point. Let's say, what if it's at 4? So when x is at 4, you have a negative 4 times 4, which is a negative 16, of 4 times, or negative 4, because of the negative x, plus 4. So that's going to give you a negative 16. So then at 4, negative, well, you know what? And quite frankly, I don't even think we have enough spaces here because it's going to be all the way down over here. And then similarly, if you move over 2 more at negative 5, it will also be negative 16. And of course, if you connect this, that is your parabola. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and move on to the next part of this. You can go ahead and pause the video and then give these two a try on your own. And if you need some additional help, that's okay, because I will be here to assist you with it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at these two examples. I think the sad face might be a little bit harder, so let's do this one. So you know that's going to be a sad face and it'll look like this. And this one is a happy face, which is going to look like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the sad face. With the sad face equation, you remember your x is always going to be negative b over 2a. Well, your b in this situation is 2, and your a is negative 1. So I'm going to have a negative 2. Come on, let's not do that. Over 2 times negative 1 is a negative 2, which is a positive 1. That is your x. Well, you got to figure out what y is. So if x equals 1, that's a negative 1, plus a 2, plus a 1, which is just a 2. So your vertex is going to be at 1, 2. And remember, it's going to be a sad face. But I don't know how wide and how compressed it's going to be. So from this 1, let's go maybe to 4. Let's see where 4 gets you. So that's like right over here. That's 1, 2, 3 spaces over. So if it's going to be a 4, that's going to be a negative 16. 2 times 4 is an 8 plus 1. Well, that's just going to be a negative 8 plus 1, which is a negative 7. So on negative 4, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, you also have to go over this way 3 steps, and that's at negative 2. So you know at negative 2, it's also going to be at negative 7. And at this point, these 2 points are more than enough for you to see kind of where the graph goes, and that's sufficient. All right, let's go ahead and give this one a try. Okay, so looking at this, once again, your A is a 1, your B is a 4. So your x is a negative b over 2a. So that just gives you a negative 2. Well, you got to know what y is. So y is going to be negative 2 times negative 2 is a 4. 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8 minus 15, which is going to give you a negative 19. Ooh, I don't even think I have enough space over here for that. So let's modify this a little bit. I'm sorry, I want to move it over here just a little bit more. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's at least have a little bit of space here. So then your vertex is going to be at negative 2, negative 19. So there's negative 2, there's 10, all the way down over here is negative 19. There you go. Now I want to know how skinny or condensed or stretched this one's going to be. So let's take a look if it goes 2 spaces over here at 0. So when x is 0, y is going to be negative 15. So at 0, negative 15 is going to be right there. Which means if I go spaces over here, 2 spaces over here, which is at negative 4, it's also going to be at negative 15. Okay. Let's see if I pick another one. How about if I decide to go from here to 4 spaces over here to 2? So when x is 2, 2 times 2 is a 4. 4 times 2 is an 8. Minus 15 is going to give me a negative 3. So here at 2, negative 3 right there. Go over a little bit over. So that's a negative 6. It's also at negative 3. So let's draw this. Connect it. And that is your graph. All right, you guys, go ahead and give the next 2 a try. You know both of them are happy faces. All right, so now that we are done with this part with the practice at home, I want you guys to take a look over here. Maybe give some of these ones on the left side a try and see if you can graph them. Either it's a happy face or a sad face. All right, so next we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you guys do your exit ticket first before I have you do the final thing. So for your exit ticket, just go ahead and write it somewhere on your guided notes for this week. You have a thumbs up, thumbs down question, and then what's your next step? What's your next plan to study? So go ahead and fill this part out. So specifically, on a separate piece of paper, what worked well for you today? Okay. Next thing, what did not work well for you today? Number 3, come up with one question that is bothering you. And lastly, what is your plan of action to address this concern that is bothering you? All right, so that is your exit ticket. All right, so next I'm gonna have you guys do is you are going to create some flashcards with me, okay? And so I would like you guys to just grab some paper. You can go ahead and cut it up if you would like. That's entirely fine with me. And so what I want to have you guys do is we're gonna go ahead and make some flashcards. So you're gonna get at least 6 cards, okay? And you're gonna Google the following terms and write the description down along with a picture. And these are the words I want you guys to go ahead and talk about. First one is quadratic equation. Second one is solve by factoring, special factorization, cube factorization, solve by square roots. And then we're going to talk about parabola, radical expression, vertex, axis of symmetry, origin, standard form, vertex form. And I think that's about it. Yeah. So you don't need to Google all 12 of these. I'm going to have you guys just pick. Let's just do any 8 of your choice. Actually, you want pick 6, any 6 of your choice. Yeah, that sounds better. So again, these are your vocabs. Pick any 6 vocabs of your choice. All right, you guys, that is basically it. As always, stay safe and healthy and try to be kind to one another. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.